Dino and Clara Pantasis are bonded by love and ambition.
My sister Clara was a vibrant, energetic, smart woman.
Will you marry me?
But money and power make for dangerous bedfellows.
Dino carried a gun because that was part of his business.
A lot of cash changed hands, a lot of cash.
And their bond is about to come undone in the blink of an eye.
Come on, Clara, get off of my case.
Don't lie to me!
She's skip bail, all right?
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. Bachelor Dino Pantasis is on the hunt for love and adventure.
He was up in the New York City area, and it just so happens that while he was up there, a friend of his brother's was having a wedding, and being part of a good Greek family, he was invited to the wedding just because he was somehow related and he was in the area.
First of all, yeah, he was beautiful. And second, he was Greek, a good guy. He was very kind.
Little does he know, he's about to meet the woman of his dreams.
My sister Clara was a vibrant, energetic, independent, smart woman.
I got it!
She stepped into any adventure head first and made every single thing she touched turn to gold. She had just recently been divorced, and she was living back at home.
So, you miss being married?
Oh, miss it? Hell no. Not with all the deadbeats out there and my deadbeat ex-husband included.
Well, maybe. They're just not around the right people.
Oh yeah? And who's the right people?
Well, me, of course. No, but I've been thinking about settling down lately, you know? Yeah.
Yeah?
Get a house, kids, you know, a family.
Good luck with that.
You're not gonna make this easy on me, are you?
Where's the fun in that?
She was a force to be reckoned with. She was small in stature, large in personality.
For him, love at first sight. He knew that that was somebody he wanted to spend his life with. She was full and intelligent, and he said he could visualize his future with her right there in front of him. When you meet the right person, you know from that moment.
He always said, my father taught me to go after whatever it was that I wanted and to pursue it until I had it. And I met Clara and I wanted Clara, and I do whatever I have to do to keep Clara because she's beautiful, she has a great family, and she's Greek, and this is who I want to marry.
Listen, I don't think I would be able to...
She was happy, and when she came back, she says, I met this amazing guy, and he's Greek.
I was wondering maybe if you'd be into having dinner with me tomorrow night.
Dinner?
Or a drink.
Maybe both.
There's just one problem.
I'd like that.
We were all the way in New Jersey. He was in Maryland. How is that going to work? She was just asking everybody, what do you think I should do? Should I date somebody that lived that far?
While Clara hesitates, Dino's not about to let a few hundred miles of New Jersey turnpike stand in his way.
Looks like we got another delivery from Dino.
He sends her a dozen roses, and so he doesn't hear anything back for like a day or two. So he calls her up, you know, I sent you some flowers, just want to make sure you got them. She goes, oh, my cat ate them.
A dozen for you, a dozen for the cat.
So my dad, when he hung up the phone, he ordered 2 dozen roses, and he sends those up there.
Oh, he's good.
He says, you know, hey, cat, you could eat these roses. Leave the other ones for Clara, please. And they started dating after that.
So listen, I've been thinking,
Me too.
in all this driving and distance, it's really starting to get to me.
The parents wanted for them to get married. Yeah, because of this going back and forth to Maryland, New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Clara, will you marry me? I can't do it.
She was happy. We were happy. Everybody was happy with them. We promised her the world. You know, we'll get married. We'll build a life together.
A new life together in Maryland.
Dina already had established business there. So it was better for her to go and move there rather than Jersey.
My mother was a school teacher, so she may have had a little more flexibility at the time to move.
And within months of meeting each other, they're married and pregnant.
My sister was beyond happy about being pregnant to my nephew. Beyond happy. That's what she wanted. She wanted a family, she wanted a future, she wanted children the most. And this is what the promise of being with Dina was for her.
Within a decade, the couple soon build their dream home in rural Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
My brother-in-law oversaw all of it being built, and my sister was there all the time, making sure everything was to her specifications, and it was amazing when it was done. Just amazing. It was beautiful, beautiful house.
With a happy family inside, Dino and Clara are now parents to a son and daughter.
At the end of it all, when you come home at night, you shut that front door, and what's sitting around the dinner table, that's what matters the most. You knew that was your father.
I'm home. Come here. Hey, guess what? I got something for you. Huh?
Not candy, Dino!
She was strict. She didn't let him get away with too much.
I swear one day I'm gonna make you.
You're gonna what?
You're the last person who wants to know.
Oh,
believe
really?
me, yes, believe me, yes.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna ground you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Are you gonna ground
Yes,
me?
you're gonna be grounded. At least 2 weeks.
Kids, hurry up. Go in the kitchen and eat it before she changes her mind.
Come on, it's dinner time. Put me down.
Come on, let's go, Warden. Hey, save me a bite.
I swear to God, Dino.
Their father was more lenient with them.
Just a few years later, Dino asks Clara to come and work with him.
Thank you for coming in today.
She was a stay-at-home mother, and she took care of us most of the time. As we started getting a little older, my mother at that time decided to come and help my dad.
Okay, now, promise me you'll make your court date, okay? And stay out of trouble in the meantime, okay?
It's different from her teaching days, but Clara quickly fits right in.
The bail bond business is not one of the most glorious professions there is. But she was never demeaning to anyone. She would talk to them like a mother would talk to a child.
You're doing great work.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Clara didn't mind the business. She was going to do the paperwork and the phone work, and Dina was going to take care of the different businesses and the bail bonding and the grunt work. She was the brains, he was the brawn.
My father was one of the absolute hardest working people that I know.
All right, sir. So, you will be all set. I just need you to sign right here, here, and right there.
There's an interaction with the criminal element and the bail bondsman.
When somebody gets arrested, they have the right to be released until they go to trial. The bail bondsman essentially posts the money on behalf of the client, and they will guarantee to the court that that person shows up for court for their trial.
For a fee.
Let's say it's a $100,000 bond. The bail bondsman, he gets 10%.
Okay. Looks like we're all set. Thank you.
There a lot of cash changed hands, a lot of cash.
Good business to be in back in the day.
As a bail bondsman, one of your main duties is going to find someone if they jump bail. And the ultimate outcome is you're going back to jail.
Enough, man!
Being a bounty hunter can be a dangerous business.
Stay right there.
Dino carried a gun because that was part of his business.
Once in a while you get somebody who puts up a little bit of a fight. You have to make sure that you can act quickly and quiet everything down.
As a bail bondsman, Dino works at all hours.
Oh, I'm sure it is hard for any wife or girlfriend that when your husband or significant other is out at all hours of the night, especially that type of work is kind of dangerous.
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell fear that Dino's profession could put pressure on the relationship.
Dino is a guy who works in a field that could be seen as sort of adventurous and exciting and risk-taking.
And for some women, that can be incredibly attractive and sexy.
Sometimes things that are attractive at the beginning of a relationship become less so as the relationship evolves into a marriage and a family.
Dino works incredibly long hours. There's a lot of late nights, there's a lot of weekends. And when you have a spouse who is not at home and you're the person who's there taking care of the kids almost 24/7, it can put strain on the relationship.
Strain that may hit too close to home.
It's gonna be okay.
Something's wrong. If somebody was out to threaten his family, he was going to find out who it was.
Dino and Clara Pantases are running a bail bonds business while raising 2 kids in their dream home in rural Maryland. But Dino's constant absences and dangerous work are beginning to put a strain on the marriage.
Clara did not like Dino going out in the middle of the night for hours at a time. And she let him know about it too. But he said that's the nature of the business.
And one night, danger on the streets turns into terror at home.
Marissa, come on, one more bite. I know that you like your corn. Come on, just one bite for Mommy, please. What was that? It was probably nothing.
So one time he had to run out to write a bond, and we were sitting around and we heard some broken glass.
I'm gonna call your daddy, okay?
Something's wrong.
I think I heard someone in the house. You need to come home now.
By this time, my mom kind of put us off in the corner of the room.
Mommy's just gonna put you down, okay? I'll be right back, sweetie. I'll be right back. Just stay here. Yeah, let's stay right there. That's good.
3 minutes later, I remember seeing my dad walk around the house. If somebody was out to threaten his family, he was going to find out who it was.
It's okay. Come here, buddy. Come here. Daddy's gonna be here soon.
You guys okay?
Yeah.
Shh. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's okay, sweetie. Yeah, it's okay. Dino! Damn it, Dino, why aren't you answering me? Is there someone in the house?
Why don't you come ask her herself? She's still in here.
Now, it turns out it was a cat that had knocked over a picture frame.
The false alarm reinforces Clara's concerns.
I'm thinking about getting out.
Getting out of what?
Bail bonding.
Because now they built up their business. It was not only bail bondsman, he was also a bounty hunter, and then they had strip mall, they had cell tower, they had apartment services.
What else are you gonna do?
Go back to teaching.
What for? The pay is garbage.
I don't care. It's what I want to do.
No.
She didn't want to do bonding. She didn't want to have anything to do with that life anymore.
Did you just say no to me?
I need you at the office, okay?
She's like, this is a lot of work. I'm taking care of everything at home, and he's calling me from the office. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And it's a lot.
Unbelievable.
He just couldn't be bothered with paperwork and keeping track of the numbers.
Dino doesn't seem to want Clara to leave the business and go pursue what she's interested in. And I believe that's because he really has life set up the way he wants it, and he wants to keep it that way.
To me, the reason is clear. Clara made Dino's life very easy. She took care of everything at home, and she's also helping him out at work. And so it's understandable to me that when she says, I want to do something else, Dino resists it.
This is the way their marriage has been. She has accommodated him all along, and he's trying to get her to accommodate him now. If she finds that there isn't a balance in their relationship, she could grow resentful.
To make matters worse, Dino's political ambitions begin to also have an impact.
Oh, hey. Just the guy I wanted to see. Hey, listen, how you doing? Look, I just wanted to let you know that we're all behind you, okay?
Dino Pantese, for a person who went to work every day in jeans, was well associated with the leading politicians in the area.
He knew different politicians. He knew a lot of police officers. He knew people always at the courthouse.
So on behalf of me and my company, that's my contribution. Okay, you got my number. If you need anything, just give me a call. Thank you very much.
He made donations to the county executive, who later became the governor of Maryland.
And those are the people that he really wanted to support and work for. He felt it was his way to give back to the community.
He wanted to be seen as his own political figure. Clara wanted the kids to get into better schools. She wanted to see what was out there for them. She didn't want them to just stay in their own little community and stay there. And the more political contacts they made, the broader their world became. Whatever political contacts my sister wanted, it was to better her children. It wasn't for her.
As the years go on, Clara begins to suspect that there's something more to Dino's constant absences.
He was out late a lot of times. Claire would tell me.
Let me give you a hand with that.
I'm so pumped.
Hey, you know what? So am I too. Here you go. And listen, if you ever need anything at all, don't you worry. Okay, I'm over there. The desk is right there.
Thanks, boss.
You're welcome.
Liz was a bail bond agent that worked with Claire. Claire didn't care for her too much.
If my sister found out that he was cheating, I don't think she would have cared if it was her 8th divorce.
Where were you?
Oh, come on, Clara. Get off my case. You know what I do.
Don't lie to me! Don't you walk away from me!
He thought he can get away with whatever. You know, he had the answer to everything.
But years of pent-up suspicions and jealousy can have deadly results.
And she knew some very bad people.
I mean, the girl was gone.
18 years into their marriage, Clara Pantese suspects her husband Dino is having an affair.
Outward appearance, everyone saw beautiful home, beautiful kids. It was perfect on the outside, you know, just wonderful. Nobody was seeing anything like this.
But she has no proof. So Clara distracts herself with work and more work.
I used to invite her over, but she was all the time working.
The office is an escape and a way of keeping an eye on Dino.
Hey, Clara, I'm gonna go get a coffee.
Please don't bother me.
No, I just wanna help.
Why are you still talking to me?
You just seem kind of a
Please leave. Go. Thank you.
Hey! The hell was that? You something against Liz?
I got one divorce already. I'll get another one if I have to.
Who's talking about divorce? There's nothing going on, Clara.
And Dino does not appreciate his wife's suspicions.
I describe him as gentle and everything, but he did have a side where, the soft teddy bear is still a bear.
The fact that Clara has become suspicious that perhaps Dino is having an affair tells me one thing for sure. something is wrong in the marriage. It could be, on the one hand, Clara is just insecure and perhaps even a little bit paranoid, or Dino's actually doing it.
Clara lives in a state of hypervigilance because of the job that Dino has. And the fact now that she thinks Dino's having an affair makes her possibly even more paranoid because she's already in this heightened state. But it's completely possible that Clara is right and that there is something going on with Dino, because oftentimes people will have some sort of nagging suspicion, and the fact that she didn't have it all those years earlier and it's come up now might be that she's picking up on something.
The only thing I know for sure is that they need to figure out how this situation has come to this point that Clara can be having these thoughts about what he might be doing when he's not with her.
To take their minds off their troubles, Dino and Clara take on their biggest project to date.
This is what we needed.
I think Claire trusted in him, and I think she wanted her marriage to work.
They were building an even bigger house in Anne Arundel County.
They bought extra land because they wanted to make sure to have some land that the family could be together on the same compounds.
Terrace's house could go right there. Huh?
Larissa's, it could go right there.
Yeah. And I saw this other spot like 2 miles down the road for your mother.
Her mother, her sisters, she wished they can all live together. So the bigger, the better.
We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay.
It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was something that they'd been working together for their whole lives.
They're to the point where their kids are getting older. They are planning to do their dream home. The cash seems to be there for that. And Clara may have had an expectation that may or may not have been accurate, that Dino was going to slow down.
In general, I view Clara as somebody who tries to keep the peace and tries to brush things under the rug. And so once this conflict happens about whether or not Dino's having an affair and there is no evidence and he gets frustrated with her for even accusing him, I think she pretty much just tries to brush it under the rug, put her suspicions aside, and go about her life.
But for Dino, once a bail bondsman, always a bail bondsman. And someone skipped bail.
Our girl Crystal's court date was yesterday. But as you all know by now, she got a case of stage fright and didn't show.
This person was a stripper/dancer.
And she knew some very bad people.
The original charge was assault, but only after we bonded her, the victim died.
So now the charge goes to murder, and she skipped. She ran off.
We are on the hook for this, people. We need to get out there and get her today. Okay? Let's go. I want everybody, all hands on deck.
It was like $100,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Dino's search leads him into the ghettos along the DC line.
He was trying to find this jumper. It was a $20,000 cash reward. That's how you advertise it. That's how bounty hunters advertise it. Hey, you help me find this person, you get $20,000 cash. My father was sometimes a little nervous about the business. It did get a little rougher as time went on.
Rougher than anyone could ever imagine.
One shot to the jaw, and then one time in the temple.
Everybody was devastated. Everybody was a shambles.
After surviving suspicions of infidelity, bail bondsman Dino and wife Clara's marriage seems to be on the mend. But their future is threatened when someone jumps bail on a murder charge, leaving Dino to find her at any cost. Even with the bail jumper still at large, it's business as usual for Clara and Dino.
You have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
He left to go to a house to check for some water damage in the basement.
Their daughter went to her private school early in the morning, and Clara was going to meet a friend later on that morning.
But as it turns out, this is no ordinary morning.
We were supposed to meet around 10 o'clock, and she never came. I kept calling her and calling her.
Hello?
And then I called Dino, and I said, Claire didn't show up here.
That's weird. Maybe she's still at home.
And so, as he's running around the county checking on homes, he says, I'll stop by the house.
I'm on my way.
Clara? 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 Hey, Clara?
Stupid cat.
Clara? Clara?
Police immediately respond to the Pantese home.
I got the call that there was a homicide on Kenfield Lane, and I responded to the scene. Once the officers arrived on the scene, found the body, shot 3 times. One shot was to the inner right bicep, one time to the jaw, and then one time in the temple. Mr. Pantasian sitting in the front yard, and he was very upset and crying.
If a guy comes home and finds that his wife has been shot and calls 911 for assistance, I expect him kneeling there at his wife's side, doing whatever he can to try to keep his wife alive. So when I heard that Dino was found out on the front lawn waiting for the police to arrive, made me think, okay, this is weird.
But it's also highly likely that a person would be so distraught looking at their spouse and mother of their children bloodied, shot several times, and not be able to stay in the room and needing to separate and get some space and grieve privately.
I then assigned 2 detectives to talk to him and subsequently taken him back to the police station for further interview. At the interview at the police station, he told them his events of the day.
So I get a call from one of these houses I take care of. They say they got water damage, so I go there to fix it, you know, and this place is, it's in an entirely other county, right? So I go there, I fix it.
Over the years, my father started dedicating most of his time to contracting and working, just fixing houses and making them look better.
I brought some DVDs back to the video store. And then I get a call that says, they say Clara's missing. So I go home. Clara! Clara! No, Clara! Oh. Then I called you right away. It all happened so fast, you know?
He then ran to a telephone that was at the end of the garage by the doors and made a 911 call.
It's my wife. Hurry, she's been shot. I think she's dead.
Along with her Jeep and her wedding ring, several of Clara's personal belongings are missing.
Her purse, cell phone, and all the items that were in her purse.
Pointing to the possibility of a carjacking gone horribly wrong. The heartbreaking news travels fast.
Everybody was devastated. Everybody was a shambles.
There was a message from my aunt. Somebody broke into your house and they shot and they killed your mother. And your mind is sitting there thinking like, I understand that sentence, but I don't understand what she just said.
My friend turned on the TV and just as they were wheeling her out of the house in the body bag. And that's how I saw her. Coming out on the gurney in a black bag.
Hours after his arrival at the station, Dino is free to go.
I'd never hugged my dad where I held him up. He was broken. He was broken. You could feel the sadness.
While a community mourns, the investigation into Clara's death begins. First order of business, find Clara's missing Jeep. The police catch a break nearly right away.
A person by the name of Mimi Young made a statement. There was a liquor store on the Eastern Avenue. We had an officer working a part-time job there. Mimi approached this officer and made a statement as to when you find that Jeep, it's going to be burned up. The homicide office picked up Mimi Young and took her back to the police department for questioning.
Mimi Young, she is a prostitute.
Mimi Young told us that she had met a guy named Steve, and Steve wanted Clara Pantese killed for $10,000.
And he asked you to do this for his boss?
And to take her car and burn it after it was done.
What did you say?
No, of course not. Because I'm a good girl.
There was no reward for Mimi to come forward. She just volunteered what she knew.
Does he have a last name?
You think I asked for ID?
As the police investigate Young's claim, they move on to other leads. Police also ask, could the murder have anything to do with Dino's bail jumper?
The shooter was one of the people who knew about this $20,000 reward. These are people who do not believe in banks or believe that when they say $20,000 cash, there's 20 grand cash inside of our house.
But investigators don't put much stock in this theory.
The garage had a key code that was needed to enter it. The police searched the home and they don't find that anyone has done any type of breaking into the house whatsoever. They also don't find anything missing from the home.
No Jeep, no bail jumper, no obvious motive. All police have is Young's story about her client, Steve.
He had gone to Mimi Young a number of times as a client of her prostitution in the area down near D.C. where she was.
A search warrant on the Pantese's home uncovers some intriguing evidence.
A suitcase was in the bedroom that was packed like she was getting ready to take a trip somewhere.
That's not all.
The key thing that we found in the house was some phone records.
With many calls to a mystery number.
The police tracked that number to Jermel Chambers. Jermel Chambers is a prostitute and is in jail in Washington, D.C.
You know how many Steve I meet on a regular basis?
The Steve I'm looking for is going around offering cash in exchange for committing a murder.
Yeah, I know him.
You got something to say on tape?
Sure. I mean, whatever. My name is Jermel Chambers.
She eventually says, yes, I did commit the murder, but I did it for money at the behest of a person named Steve.
He paid me some up front, the rest I was still waiting on.
She admitted to shooting her and taking her Jeep and leaving the crime scene.
It was his gun.
That leaves 3 things unresolved.
Jermel Chambers is a heroin addict prostitute from the streets of Washington, D.C., and would have no business whatsoever in Upper Marlboro.
Claire's house it's not an easy house to find. How would they know the code to the garage?
And number 3, who is Steve?
Mimi's telling him, I know what you did, and I got the note.
We're like, there's no way that this is him.
2 prostitutes, Mimi and Jermel, each tell police that a John named Steve offered them money to murder Clara Pantasis in her Maryland home. And when pressed, Jermel admits she did it. But just who is Steve?
Jermel Chambers is provided a photo spread and quickly identifies the person she knew as Steve.
It's him right there. That dude.
She picked out Dino Pantasi as Steve, the person who wanted his boss's wife killed.
As did Mimi.
That's Steve.
Steve had in fact given her a piece of paper with the home's address and the key code in order to get into the garage.
That same type of paper was later found in his office.
And Dino's phone records also showed he had had contact with Mimi.
Mimi said, if you don't believe me, just check his phone records. My phone number will be on his phone records. We skimmed through the numbers, and Mimi's phone number was listed on his phone records numerous times.
The police decide it's time to get more on Steve, aka Dino, with Mimi's help.
Mimi made a phone call to him.
Hello? No, there's no Steve here. You got the wrong number.
Mimi's telling him, I know what you did, and I got the note.
Who is this? Okay, calm down.
And Dino at the time is acting like he doesn't know who it is.
When?
So we have Mimi ask him to meet him at a location.
By yourself, right?
He agreed to meet her at the liquor store. We had surveillance set up across the street. He had the money cupped in his hand, $1,500. Mimi just grabbed it out of his hand real quick and put it in his pocket.
The money provided to Mimi Young is clearly hush money, so Mimi won't go to the police. What is highly unusual is that, first of all, Mr. Pantasi did not call the police who were investigating this crime when he got this call from Mimi Young. Second of all, that he would go meet a person that he thinks is a complete stranger. And third of all, that he would bring her money.
Less than 4 weeks after his wife is found dead, Dino Pantasis is arrested and charged with Clara's murder.
He refused to make any statements at that time. He did not confess whatsoever.
We still stood behind him. We were like, there's no way that this is him.
Police learned that Dino never slept with his coworker.
Anything at all. Don't you worry.
He did give her money, a few $100. She had 2 kids and going through a divorce and everything.
But he was leading a life no one had any idea about.
Mimi's relationship with Dino was the same as Jermel Chambers.
Mimi Young had met Steve, AKA Dino Pantasis, when he became a client of hers. Mr. Pantese had gone to Mimi Young a number of times in the area down near D.C. where she was.
Clara's packed suitcase suggests she just might have discovered his activities.
She may have found out about the lifestyle that he was leading on the side and decided to leave him.
Once he was exposed, it would have humiliated him because my sister wasn't going to keep it quiet.
So Dino may have decided to keep Clara quiet permanently. As for the bail jumper who left Dino holding the $100,000 tab,
She skipped bail, all right. I don't think they've ever caught her to this day.
with Dino arrested, investigators piece together how they think it all went down.
So on March 30th, he had left the house to go check on a property down the street, not far from his residence, that supposedly had water damage in the basement. Anytime you go to a property, there's a sign-in sheet.
But he didn't sign the sign-in sheet of that house like he normally did.
Instead, Dino drives to D.C.
Jamel Chambers testified that Dino Pantese picked her up the morning of the crime.
Hey, you're ready. The password for the garage is 9583. The gun is on top of the fridge inside the garage.
I got it.
The only way that Jamel Chambers could get into that garage is if she had been provided the code. Mr. Pantese ran a number of errands, and when this crime was occurring, he was in a different part of the county.
Hey. Who are you, huh? What do you want?
As she left the residence, she made a phone call to Dino Pantese to tell him that it was done.
using Clara's own cell phone.
Come on.
That cell phone was hitting off a cell tower just several miles down the road from the Pantese residence.
There's no reason that a murderess would be calling the spouse of the person she just murdered unless he knew something about it.
To many, the evidence against Dino Pantasis is ironclad. His son Terrace, however, doubts his father had time to pick up Jermel and leave the county and run his errands before 9:30 a.m.
He had the gas station receipt that shows he filled up 40 gallons of gas. And the cops say, oh, we drove it. He could have done it. But the cop didn't fill up 40 gallons of gas. 40 gallons takes some time. My mother died. Her killers are still out there.
When I hear the son say, I really don't believe my dad is guilty, that carries weight with me because he's already lost his mom. She's dead. And if his dad is guilty, he's essentially lost his dad too. And the thought of that is worse than the thought of somebody else killed my mom, we'll never know who it was.
I do think there are two Dinos. There's Dino the family man, there's Dino the traditional guy, there's Dino the provider, and then there is the Dino that does what Dino wants, and the Dino who thinks he's going to get away with doing whatever it is he wants to do.
I think Dino and Clara's case boils down to Dino being mortified by the thought of the facade that he had created over years of their marriage as a law enforcement helping traditional family man completely being shattered by the revelation in a divorce that he was a patron of prostitutes.
And that's where the dark side comes in.
In December 2000, Dino Pantases is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 2 life terms without parole.
Jermell Chambers received a sentence of life plus 20 years and agreed to testify against Mr. Pantasi in this case. Mimi was a state's witness in the case, never charged with anything. She was subsequently murdered in an unrelated incident several years later.
Clara's death is a staggering loss for the family.
Clara has grandchildren out there that she's not going to be here to raise. And I know she fought till the end. I know she fought till the end. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to leave this earth.
She's gonna haunt him forever. And I really miss her. But I know she's not coming back.